Welcome to Honeybee, real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. My name is Miller. The hardest betrayals often come from the very people you've given up everything to protect. For years, my world revolved around caring for my wife, who became disabled after a tragic accident. I built my entire life around her limitations, never once imagining that while I was pouring myself into her care, I'd uncover betrayal so deep that it wouldn't just shatter our marriage. It would also crush my faith in human decency. Kimberly and I had been married 3 years when everything changed. At first, our marriage felt steady and full of love. We met during our final year of college, dated for 2 years, got engaged, and began laying what I thought was a groundwork for a lifetime together. Those first few years as husband and wife were everything I dreamed of. We both held steady jobs, me in the accounting department of a mid-sized company, and Kimberly on the media team of a marketing firm. Within a year, we bought a modest home in a quiet neighborhood. We were saving steadily and had even started talking about having children down the road. Kimberly was full of energy and loved outdoor adventures, hiking, climbing, pushing her limits. That vibrant spirit was part of what drew me to her, and I cherished sharing those moments with her. But on a rainy October evening, our lives were torn apart. Kimberly was driving home from work when a drunk driver ran a red light and slammed into her car at high speed. The collision crushed the driver's side and left her trapped for nearly an hour before rescue crews could pull her from a wreck. Her injuries changed everything. The impact severely damaged her spine, especially her thoracic and lumbar vertebrae. After multiple surgeries and endless hospital stays, doctors gave us the heartbreaking news. Kimberly would live with permanent disability, limited mobility, and chronic pain for the rest of her life. The woman who once conquered mountains now faced life in a wheelchair, relying on others for her daily needs. Her physical losses were devastating, but the emotional toll was just as heavy. Losing independence shattered her spirit, forcing her to reimagine her entire future. I didn't hesitate for a second. I vowed I would stand by her through it all. She was still the woman I loved, and I was determined to help her adjust to her new reality. Those months after the accident were like crash course training in caregiving. I learned how to transfer her between bed and wheelchair, help with personal hygiene, manage medications, and adapt our home for accessibility. I rearranged my entire career, working from home when possible, reducing hours for her medical appointments, and taking on all the household responsibilities she could no longer handle. The settlement from the accident covered some costs, but far from enough. Medical bills, equipment, and home modifications drained our finances. I picked up extra hours and stayed up late to keep up with work, yet I didn't resent it. My love for Kimberly gave me the strength to sacrifice. To me, caregiving was simply another form of my promise as a husband. We modified everything in our home: ramps, widened doorways, an accessible bathroom, and a main floor bedroom. But physical changes were only part of the challenge. Kimberly struggled emotionally, battling depression, anger, and grief over her lost independence. Some days were especially hard. I supported her the best I could, encouraged therapy, and even attended counseling sessions with her. Still, isolation weighed on her. Activities and friendships she once thrived on faded away, leaving me as her main emotional support. I accepted that role, though it was exhausting to manage both her physical and emotional needs. As part of her recovery, she began physical therapy with Duncan, a specialist in spinal injuries. He seemed skilled and professional, and soon Kimberly made progress. Therapy gave her purpose and hope, something she desperately needed. After each session, she seemed more motivated, and I rearranged my schedule to make sure she never missed one. Years passed, and we fell into a routine. It wasn't easy. Caregiving was overwhelming at times, but I clung to my vows. 5 years after the accident, we'd settled into what I thought was a workable balance between her care and our marriage. Life wasn't what we planned, but I believe we were making the best of it. Then came the day that destroyed everything. It was a sunny Saturday in spring. I decided to wash the car in our driveway, enjoying the quiet rhythm of the task. Kimberly's phone was sitting on the patio table nearby. As I rinsed the car, water splashed unexpectedly, soaking her phone. I rushed over, worried. It was her lifeline for communication and daily needs. The screen began glitching from water damage, so I dried it carefully and promised to take it for repair. On Monday, I brought it to a technician who said they'd need to dismantle and clean it. A few days later, I picked it up, grateful it was working again. The technician suggested I test everything to be sure, so I went through calls, apps, and settings. That's when I saw it. The messages. Hidden in her text was a long conversation with Duncan, her therapist. It wasn't professional, it was intimate, romantic. Their words revealed a year-long affair. My chest tightened as I read how deeply their relationship had gone, far beyond therapy. But the worst part? They met in our home, in our bedroom. While I worked late, while I exhausted myself to care for her, she was with him in the very bed we once shared. She told me often she was too tired or in too much pain for intimacy, yet she found the strength for him. The betrayal was complete. It wasn't just infidelity. It was a cruel violation of every sacrifice I had made. I sat in my car for an hour before going inside. When I confronted Kimberly, she denied it at first, even with the messages in front of her. She claimed I misunderstood, that Duncan was only supportive, or that it was a brief mistake. But the messages told the truth. It was no mistake. It was a sustained, deliberate affair. I told her our marriage was over. She begged, promised to end it, swore she'd change. But my trust was destroyed. Her betrayal was too deep, too systematic. I couldn't stay. I filed for divorce. Kimberly's lawyer argued I was abandoning a disabled spouse and pushed for a large settlement, while my attorney countered that her affair was abandonment of the marriage itself. The case grew ugly, mixing family law, disability rights, and infidelity. Evidence revealed she'd even used therapy sessions as a cover to meet Duncan. Their planning, their secrecy, it was all deliberate. Dividing assets was brutal. All the modifications I'd paid for ramps, accessible bathrooms, renovations were considered benefits to her, not me. Her lawyer insisted her disability entitled her to more support regardless of her affair. After months of battles, I gave up a painful share of assets, including retirement savings, just to be free. Duncan's career also collapsed when the affair came to light. His relationship with the patient violated ethics, and he faced disciplinary action. Their choices destroyed more than just my marriage. The divorce was financially draining and emotionally crushing, but in the end, it freed me. For the first time in years, I could live for myself. No more rearranging every moment around caregiving. I moved into a small apartment, set my own schedule, and tried to heal. The emotional scars ran deeper than the financial ones. Trusting again after such betrayal seemed impossible. Therapy helped me process it. The years of sacrifice, the painful discovery, and the difference between true love and enabling selfishness. I realized I had honored my vows. Her betrayal was her choice, not my failure. The random splash of water that damaged her phone had revealed the truth I might never have seen otherwise. Looking back, there were signs, her emotional distance, her lack of gratitude, but I ignored them. Fate intervened with something as small as a splash of water, tearing open a lie I'd been living in. Today, I'm grateful the truth surfaced when it did. Though it cost me years, money, and heartbreak, it also set me free from a life that was draining me. Sometimes the most painful truths are the ones that save us. Kimberly repaid years of my care with betrayal, but that betrayal gave me back my life.